Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Susan Nicholas here at our WSAZ Plus studio to keep you updated throughout the day on the winter weather. Some of you woke up to a lot of snow, some a lot of slush, and more weather is on the way. So, whatever you're dealing with right now, we want to get up to date. So, let's check in with our meteorologist, Emily Dietz, here and find out what we can expect. So, Emily, let's see. There you are. Emily, I know around our area, around the Huntington studio, very slushy. I had a slushy, slippery drive in from the south side of Huntington into work. You were here staying in town. What was your trip in like?
Slushy. I mean, you said it best. I even did a little lap around the block. In some areas where you see those dips in the sidewalks, it was ankle deep water.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the snow from last night is just building up, especially around the storm drains. And so it's not allowing a lot of that water to drain off at all. And the ground is still so frozen that you don't see a lot of that water being absorbed into the ground. It's a lot of standing water. It's really gross and mucky outside.
It is.
So, and unfortunately,
very messy.
Yes, and unfortunately, it's just going to get slick tonight because we're seeing all that water and then freezing temperatures later.
Yeah, let's talk about that because we have had some really cold weather, but not like what we're going to be seeing. And I believe you even have some numbers if you want me to just show everyone what those look like.
Absolutely. I mean, this upcoming week is going to be a cold one for the books. But right now, we've got some current temperatures, and this is what's making this weather system so both interesting and frustrating to forecast for because we're sitting right around that freezing mark. So even in Huntington, we're about a degree above freezing, and some other areas like Paintsville are a few degrees above freezing. Remember, 32 degrees is that freezing mark, whereas in Athens and Portsmouth on our surface, we're at that freezing mark. So it's a lot of this weird mix. We're fluctuating just above freezing and just below. That creates those kind of frozen rain, sleet, rain, and snow conditions all across the area. But looking at our temperatures for the future around 5 o'clock today, that's where we start to see right along this area at 5 o'clock, we're going to start to see that cold front make its way through into the area. And so as that cold air goes in, we're still going to see a little precipitation, but we'll transition more into snow because we're going to be below that freezing mark. And then as we go into the evening, it's just going to get even colder from there. Overnight, we're going to be back down into the teens. So Portsmouth around 14. This is around 11 p.m. tonight. Parkersburg 19. Logan around 26 and Painesville around 23. So we are in for a cold night, and that's just going to be lasting through the week. Now we do have the National Weather Service is still issuing that winter storm warning through Monday morning. And if we zoom out and take a look at the entire U.S., again, this is a very big weather system that we're seeing move through. And again, we've been seeing a lot of fluctuations, even hour by hour, where just that tiny little change in the atmosphere is creating big changes at the surface. Even the difference that 1 or 2 degrees can make for us is what's creating this whole, oh, we're seeing a lot of snow, to then, oh, we're seeing sleet, to then we're seeing freezing rain. So we have this winter storm warning up through the New England area, all around here. And then as we go more towards the south, you see more of that cold weather because a lot of the system has passed them by now. Versus down here near the Carolinas, we have those ice storm warnings in that purple color, and then cold weather advisory in the sort of tealy light blue. So a lot of weather coming, and then we have some cold weather on the way as well. But taking a quick look at our Doppler radar, again, you can see the mess that this system is. So zooming in up towards southeast Ohio and southern Ohio, right along here, we're seeing a little bit of sleet, and that's because our temperatures at the surface. So you have a warm layer that's sitting just above the surface, about a mile above the surface. And so as those ice crystals and those snowflakes are up in the upper atmosphere, they're in that freezing layer, but then they hit that warm layer and they melt ever so slightly. And then when they reach the surface in this Athens County area, they refreeze into that sleet, which is what they're seeing right now. And then as we move to the south, where we are near the Kentucky area, let's see if I can get my clicker to work here. We're seeing more of this snow rain situation going on. And so that's why, not snow, freezing rain and more rain showers, especially since this temperature is at that 33-ish degree range. And then in the mountains area, that's where we're going to be seeing a little bit more of that sleet, freezing rain because, again, it's very cold in the upper atmosphere, and then the precipitation melts, and then right at that freezing layer at the surface. So here's a good look at that temperature that we're looking at right about now. Again, this entire area is right along that freezing boundary, which again, 32 degrees. So we have this warm nose. So this is what was causing a lot of our problems for our forecast. We were previously, even a couple days ago, looking at more of a snow event, but this warm area, you can see it right along the Ohio River, is creating a little bit of melt where we're at that 33-degree mark. And so we're seeing some of those, some of that melting going on, creating more of this slushy mess that we're seeing outside. And it's looking even a little bit hazy outside because you've got some low-level clouds and that rain coming down. So it's just going to be a mess. And then as this cold air over to the west begins to make its way into the area, things are just going to be refreezing over. And then taking a look at our overall satellite right now, you can still see this whole mess over to the south. It's a bit more rain to the south because they're seeing a bit more of this warmer air, but this warm air moved up from the Gulf area into our region. And right now we do have some power outages because of this system. So we're mainly looking in this Kentucky area for those outages, and then a little bit in West Virginia as well, in that coal field area, because some of that ice was building up last night. Now, if you do have a power outage right now, you want to make sure you have enough blankets to last through the next couple of days or until your power gets back on, because it's going to be so incredibly cold because we have, again, a lot of this cold air that's just coming down. We're calling this Arctic air because we're going to be seeing some of the single digits. And again, as that moves on into tonight, we're just going to be seeing some more freezing going on. So
yeah,
very
how low
cold day
will
ahead.
it go? I know it's hard to say the lowest temperature because when you think of our entire coverage area in 3 states, that's a lot to look at everything, you and our entire meteorology team to say how cold, but you know some averages there. How cold do you think it will get tonight? Because we've got all that slush on the roads.
Yeah, so if we jump forward to the 7-day forecast, I can show you a good look what we're looking at for this week. So tonight, it's going to be down into the teens, even closer to the single-digit temperatures. And then Monday, we're going to be back up to 20. But then overnight and the whole rest of this week, single digits. And even that wind chill that might come in. We're not expecting super strong winds at the moment right now, but even just a little bit of a breeze can knock some of these temperatures down into the single digits, or excuse me, the negatives.
Right.
And so it's just going to be a cold week ahead. So tonight, it'll be sort of a steady kind of decline as we go into the afternoon into the evening a little bit, because again we have a little bit of a warm nose, but then once that cold front passes as we go later on into this evening, it's just going to get into the low teens is what we're looking at for tonight, and then into Monday the 20s. So again, the high this week, Tuesday for now and Saturday are what we're looking at, and that's going to be in the upper 20s. So this entire week is going to be freezing. Definitely need to bundle up, and every single overnight temperature we have so far is below 10 degrees. And if you're in those valley areas, or especially if you're away from the city, it's going to get even colder for you.
Yes, and what is on the ground right now and what continues to fall in some areas, it's not going to go anywhere with those kind of temperatures.
No, unfortunately not. And there's only so much that salt can do, because salt only works to about the 15 to 20 degree range. So as we get overnight, again, salt won't really work on some of these road conditions, especially as we get into the overnight. Now, during the day, we're hoping for a little bit of melting to get that off the streets, but unfortunately, it's just going to refreeze overnight.
Right.
So we're looking at this pattern of a slight melt from the salt during the day and then a refreeze overnight, and that's going to be fairly consistent throughout the week until we get into February, which is next week, and that's where we're looking at our first kind of jump at those nicer, well, I hesitate to say nicer, but I guess slightly warmer, slightly above freezing conditions.
Right. Yeah, we'll take anything after the temperatures we're getting this week. So we do want to remind everybody, tonight we're having an hour-long evening newscast from 6 p.m. until 7 p.m. That way we can bring everybody up to date. I know our chief meteorologist, Tony Cavalier, will be in. You said our meteorologist, Nicholas Snyder, will be in, and all of our reporters and photographers to kind of be out there throughout the day and then let everybody know what it looks like and then what is coming again. And so we appreciate you taking some time out of your busy afternoon. I'll let you get back to work. And again, thank you all for tuning in to WSAZ, our Plus studio here. And we'll see you back here in a little bit, because I believe Tony's going to chat with me when he gets in too. All right, see ya.
See ya.